Yeah, there was a technical issue, so we had to log out and then log in again. So it's the same link in case anybody is asking for help. It's the same link that you need to click and log in again. Analyst is Vijayam. Yes, good afternoon, everybody. A warm welcome to today's session. And we have named our series, our Sunday series, as Be the Change You Wish to See. And when I was discussing with Vijayam ma'am today morning about, you know, the way education is going to be post-COVID and the way things are going to move forward, I think it's become very, very important for all of us to ask this question, slow down, ask this question, and understand where is it that we are headed and what is it in terms of skill that we need to be looking at. Because now is the time. The lockdown has given everyone that time that was really required to look within and uh, and understand what are the challenges that are going to be coming, and how is it that we can equip ourselves to face those challenges. So our today's session, which is schooling beyond COVID-19, is indeed a very deep topic, and none other than Miss Vijayam Kartha ma'am would have actually done justice to this topic because of her experience that she brings in, her vast experience that she brings in the field of education. Just a brief about our speaker today. And first of all, I would like to thank Vijayam ma'am for coming in and gracing this occasion, and on a Sunday where we are actually going to be having more than I think we've got loads and loads of registration today, and I hope everyone has received their links and everyone will be logging in. So a brief introduction about about ma'am and about how her experience has been in the field of education. So, uh, my association with ma'am dates back when we actually met at one of the meetings that was arranged by the Initiatives of Change, which is an organization which works towards bringing about change and training educators. And I also attended. I was fortunate enough to be a part of the program, three-day conference that was organized by Initiative of Change. Vijayam ma'am has started her journey as a librarian, and she grew up the ladder and became actually the founder, trustee, and ex vice chairman of Kerala Group of Schools Public Trust, where she has gained not only the experience to run schools but also to counsel teachers, parents, and students. She believes she's a consultant and educational. Professional education trainer. She believes in value education, that today's education indeed needs to be focusing on value based morals, and also there needs to be a change in the way education is moving ahead. And our session today is going to be covering on these aspects as to what are the changes that we are looking at, and how is it that we as educators need to be working on our own selves to equip ourselves with those skills. So Vijayam ma'am, over to you. And we would like to hear, first of all, what is going to stay and what is going to change post COVID.
Thank you so much, Rakhi. It's such a pleasure to be here with all of you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, and I am overwhelmed to see many of my friends, my ex-colleagues, my ex-students here in this room with all of us. I am really overwhelmed seeing their love for me. I consider it that way. So I really appreciate the sort of work you are doing, Rakhi, through your Teachers Help Teachers. I hope all the participants who are attending today's webinar will take a look at your website and see what sort of work you are doing and support your endeavor. That is my wish and prayer for you.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I'm not here to share any insights. I don't have any new insights. I consider myself as a practitioner. So I am just here to share a few practices which are supported by research, which will help us to tide over these difficult times. Not only these difficult times, I feel even the problems we face in our schools, it will help us to, face those challenges in our school setup also at our personal and professional level. So, many of you must be, many of these participants must be already practicing these, strategies in their schools. Still, I thought it's very relevant today. It's very much needed today that we all relook at these practices and give it the attention it really needs in the current situation. So maybe we can start with a PowerPoint. I have. So will you please share it?
Yes, I'll do that.
Maybe we'll start with a question to all of you, my dear friends. You can either unmute and answer the question, or you can, put your answers into the chat box. So, so my first question to you is this: what is positive about COVID-19 days? Is there anything positive about the difficult, uncertain times we are going through? They say every cloud has a silver line. I would love to listen to you. As I suggested, you can put it into your chat box, or one or two of you can unmute yourself and speak. Okay, I see that self-introspection, family time, then improvement in our environment, and we have been united, family bonding. Okay, wonderful. Cleanliness, yeah. More time to think. Okay. Yeah. So anyone would like to speak so that it's not only my voice, it's heard throughout the next 1 hour. Anyone would like to unmute and say something? Am I audible?
Yes. Yes,
Yeah, yeah.
yes,
Okay.
yes. Yeah. I got
So,
your PPT. Yeah. I'm just putting
yeah,
it. Eating healthy, home cooked food, interpersonal relations,
yeah,
understanding value of household. Yes.
beautiful. Yeah. Uh, all these things are the positives of COVID-19.
Yeah.
One more thing I feel it has taught us minimalism. Yes, Daki, you wanted to say
Yeah.
something?
I wanted to say that I think COVID-19 has also helped us to get over our fears, overcome our
Yeah,
fears.
correct,
So
correct.
all those things which
Yeah,
we felt, oh my God, I cannot survive without this, or I cannot be doing this. So I think it has helped
yeah.
us to overcome all those fears.
Correct. Friends, before I go back, those who are putting down your thoughts in the chat, I promise you that I'll go through it. Maybe not if I can't do it now at the end of the session. So please feel free to put your thoughts and questions there. The relevant questions, maybe Raki will share it with me so that I can pick it up. So I
Yes.
feel, along with whatever you have shared, I think minimalism is something which we have, learned to live with. We have picked up a lot of skills. For example, a webinar like this, we would not have even thought of it. Maybe for many of us, this will be the first webinar we are going to attend. Must be attending. So, and then another thing which touches my heart is the compassion which I see all around. All of a sudden we see that people have become more compassionate, and they are ready to help each other. So these are the some of the positives of COVID-19. But I'm sure there must be something which upset you. What is that? What are those things which upset you as a citizen? Any thoughts? Cannot travel, okay. Fear of uncertainty, yeah. Shamini, correct. And locked up, yeah. uh, Would you like to put it on slideshow, Raki?
Yes. Here it
Yeah,
is.
yeah. So limitations, yeah. Socially disconnected, but emotionally very connected, I suppose. Maybe the next slide, Raki. Next one. Yeah, that one. Okay, unable to go out. Anybody would like to speak? Oh, I would like to listen to someone's voice here. It's only mine, which I am hearing.
Yeah, I'll do that. There are some participants who raised their hand. Let me just attend that. Yeah.
Anyone?
Yes. I'll just unmute them. Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yes, Divya, you can talk. Yeah, Divya, you can talk. Yeah.
Helplessness, yeah.
Smita, you can speak right now. I have put you on unmute.
Missing staff room, wow. I want to talk. Who is that? Migrant laborers, yeah. Since there is a lack of time, I can't keep waiting, so I go on. I will be very happy if some of you keep,
Yeah, I think
sharing
they
something.
they need to put themselves on unmute as well. I have put them on unmute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So please unmute yourself if you want to speak and speak. Yeah.
Hello, ma'am. Namaste. This
Yeah.
is Jaya Parekh here.
Yes. Yes,
Yeah, ma'am.
Jaya. Tell
So,
me.
before the pandemic, I think there are various things that we usually keep talking about, but I think we don't have an influence over everything. So, that just remains as a concern. But now,
Mm,
what I see as something which bothers me the most is the plight of the migrant laborers. And
mm,
this country, with such a huge population, also was not able to cater to the needs of so many. And
mm,
each one is responsible, including myself. And
mm.
this is something which is stirring my soul very badly
Yeah.
at the moment.
Correct. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, many of you have shared more or less the same things, and reports say that domestic violence has increased. crime against children has increased. People are getting into depression, and there's a lot of uncertainty and fear of the unknown because of this pandemic. So that is for the time being these days. What used to upset you before this pandemic? Were we all very happy with our lives before the pandemic? No. What used to upset you before the pandemic? What used to upset you? Traffic chaos, yeah, pollution,
Sound
yeah.
pollution.
Hmm. What else? Anybody would like to share?
Ma'am, sound pollution.
Sound
Sound
pollution,
pollution.
okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Very
Busy
busy
life,
life.
yeah. Correct.
Yeah.
Sound, water, and noise pollution, somebody has said, yeah.
Traffic.
Unnecessary shopping, yeah. That used to upset you?
Unnecessary shopping.
Okay. Not able to do heat, yeah. Violence, yeah. So, yeah, it's not that this pandemic has brought a lot of fears and pain into our hearts. We were pained with so many things in the past also. For example, we hear whatever you have shared, pollution and all those things. Above that, the increasing rate of suicide, especially among the youth, was so much worrisome for all of us. Even suicide rates among the so-called educated people. Then the corruption, the gap between the rich and the poor, the unemployment, then they say many graduates and postgraduates who pass out are not employable, and then religious divides. Even after 73 years, so many people are living in such poor and dismal conditions. And to tap it all, we are at the bottom in the happiness index, World Happiness Index. Enough and more for us to be upset. No wonder we rank much below in the happiness index. So the next question, next slide, Rakhi. Next question is, if these are the realities, do teachers, do we have a responsibility to mitigate these problems? Do we have a responsibility? What do you think? Yeah, Nalini says yes. Yes, Rakhi says yes. Yeah, everyone says it's a great responsibility. So wonderful. Yeah, we all know that as educators, I think we have more responsibility than others to mitigate these problems. Why do you think like that? Anybody would like to speak? Why do you think we have more responsibility than others? Any reason? Taking care of students, yeah. Children are under our control. We are the torch bearers. We are the nation builders. Wow, beautiful. Anyone would like to speak? Unmute yourself and speak, please.
Hello.
Yes.
This is Sunil
This is
Nandwani.
Sunil, yeah.
Yes, doctor, please speak.
I think educators are family and nation builders.
Pardon, sir? Pardon, doctor?
Educators are family and nation builders.
Yes, yes.
Yes, and so this is a good time for them to reflect and bring in our culture back into the educational system.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yes.
Wonderful. Yeah.
And that used to disturb me a lot before the pandemic. And I think it's a good opportunity for all you educators to think about it.
Yeah.
And the other thing that used to disturb all of us was the poor health infrastructure and systems. Hopefully we'll get up to that now.
Absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. So we are the change makers. Yeah, there are so many reasons. Like we are the nation builders. Can we have the next slide, Rakhi? Yeah, you said it right. Teachers are called nation builders. Next slide, Rakhi.
Yeah.
If we are the nation builders, and if education is all about preparing children for life, we have the major responsibility to ensure that the children acquire the necessary knowledge, attitude, and skills to lead a happy and successful life. One of my favorite, I love to repeat it whenever I get an opportunity. Just like the doctors are trained to heal, just like the police personnel are trained to take care of law and order situation, just like the judges are trained to deliver justice, we teachers are trained to educate children. I put educate in inverted commas. We are supposed to educate. Educate what? We have to teach them English, history, physics, or we have to teach them something more? That is the question. So this pandemic has shown us very clearly what is more important. We are not bothered about our qualifications. We are bothered about to be alive. We are bothered about our well-being. And what are we all striving in our life for? What are we striving for? Any answers? What are we running after? What is that the ultimate aim for our life?
Happiness.
Survival.
Success.
Happiness.
Happiness. Wonderful. Yeah, we all want to be happy. And this is the, like Dr. Pardon?
We want to be successful.
Successful, we want to be peaceful, we want to be happy, we want to be joyful, self-satisfaction. Wonderful, good answers. So, like Dr. Nandwani said, this is the right time. I feel for educators, for us to introspect, reflect on our role. Are we doing justice to the role of being the nation builders? So we saw that we are all upset about not only the current situation, we are upset about so many other things: the poverty, the health conditions, the unemployment problems, the unemployability. That is not a word actually. Problems. So we have so many problems. So what is the solution? What should be our focus as educators? Like in next slide, can we have?
Yep.
We need to be extraordinary. Yeah, self-satisfaction. Yeah. So what should be our focus, priority in schools post COVID-19? So my whole talk is about this. What should be our priority, our focus when the school reopens? Even if some of you ask me, what is the surety? We may, this may continue for long. I feel the practices which I am going to share with you can help us not only at the school level, maybe at home in our own personal family level also. So let us look at some research findings. Stanford University had come out with this research. I'm sure this is nothing new. All of you know about it. Your attitude is a better predictor for your success than your IQ. And all the time in our schools, we attach a lot of importance to academics. And what is success? They say success is only 15% of knowledge and technical skills and 85% of attitude and ability to relate to others. So what should we focus in our schools? The question comes. So any answers? What should we be if success is 15% of knowledge and technical skills and 85% of attitude and ability to relate to others? What should we focus on? Okay, life skills and attitude to attitude and ability to relate, confidence building. Yeah, focus on life skills, gratitude. Wow, yeah. Social skills, positive attitude, yes. So we should all, these studies tell us that as educators, we have to focus more attention to ensure that the children develop the right attitude and values from their schools. Why schools? Why not colleges? Because we all know that the children spend their age in this school. They say by the time the child is 8 years, his personality, most of his value systems are formed. There can be changes, but the basics is there. So interpersonal skills, yeah, we have to take care of all these things. Can we go to the next slide,
Yeah.
Raki?
Yeah.
About 4 practices supported by research. There are many, many other ways. I'm not saying these are the only 4 ways. No, there can be 101 different ways. For example, project-based learning, people talk about query-oriented education. There are so many other ways. I am going to look at only on 4 very simple practices which any school, any individual can apply. Even if a teacher feels that no, I can do it only if my principal gives me permission. I think whatever I'm going to suggest, you don't need anybody's permission to do it in your classroom. It is as simple as that. And what will be the impact? All these practices, studies show that these practices promote academic success, stakeholder well-being, and also help to build a compassionate society. I am sure these are the 3 things which each one of us want to see. We want our children to be academically bright. We want our children to be happy. When I'm talking about stakeholder well-being, I am also including character building in that. So research says that these mindfulness practice, daily practice of quiet time, nurturing pro-social skills and relationship building will ensure that our children perform academically well and they acquire a wonderful character. And naturally, the output will be a more compassionate society. So let us, before I proceed, any questions or any comments from any one of you? Anyone of you, any question?
Yeah, you can mention in the chat and then we can put you on unmute. Yeah.
Otherwise, I'll go ahead with the. So let's take up the first one. Next slide.
Yeah.
Next slide. So let us start with. Okay, thank you, Meenakshi. Thank you. So let us start with mindfulness. So what is mindfulness? So mindfulness means being aware, paying attention to your thoughts, feelings, actions. Simply put, mindfulness means being mindful of this moment, being in the moment. That is called mindfulness. People keep asking what is the difference between mindfulness and meditation. Mindfulness is the awareness of something, whereas meditation is the awareness of nothing. During meditation, we are like a witness. We are detached. We are not, getting involved in anything. We are just watching our thoughts and feelings like a witness. Whereas mindfulness, you are being mindful. You can have mindful eating, mindful walking. So mindfulness can be practiced anywhere, but meditation normally can be practiced, especially when you sit down and for some we have to be sitting down at one place. So I'm not going into the details of the difference between mindfulness and meditation. Maybe we can have a 1 minute, maybe I will come back to that later. So that is mindfulness is being mindful. So what is the impact of mindfulness practice as per studies? Studies show that this is, again, most of you must be knowing, it increases social emotional skills, it increases academic performance, increases happiness and improves interpersonal skills, decreases students' stress and anxiety significantly, helps them to regulate their emotions, inculcates compassion. So whatever many of you had put in the chat, all those things will be redressed if we start mindfulness practice in our classroom. I'm sure many of your schools must be doing it. In the West, now it has become the buzzword. Almost every school practices mindfulness. In India, very few of us have started it. So how can we practice mindfulness? So the best way is to get an expert to come and train you on mindfulness practice. Don't do it on your own. or there are online courses which you can learn, or I can teach you a very simple mindfulness practice right now. Can we all sit with our back straight and body relaxed? I hope you are sitting with your body relaxed, and your back should be straight, and just close your eyes and focus on your breathing. You are like a security guard sitting at the gate of your nostrils, and you are looking at every breath which is going in and with every breath which is coming out. Your mind will wander within 2 seconds. Don't be upset. Bring it back gently to breathing. Let's see whether we can observe our breathing like this for 30 seconds. Thank you. Could you do it? I hope all of you could do that. Rakhi, could you do that?
Yep, a little bit.
Yeah. So it is just the beginning. So this you can start with as a 2 minutes or 1 minute. You can start as a practice. Whenever you are working, you are doing something, you are reading. For 1 minute, you can start practicing it, and then you can increase it. Under Vipassana tradition, this is called Anapana meditation. Just observing your breath. You are not doing anything else. And every time your mind wanders, you gently bring it back to your breath. So studies show that if you start practicing it yourself, and if you help your children to practice it, it will improve academic performance, their happiness level, anxiety and stress levels will come down, the person relationships will improve, and it will inculcate compassion. Studies say that it can even reverse heart diseases. They say meditation can even reverse heart diseases. So I think it is something wonderful and so easy to start in our schools. Now the question comes, when do we start? When do we do it? I think the best time is in the morning. All the stakeholders, right from the security guard, the principal, everyone comes in such a hurry early in the morning to the school. So maybe during the assembly, or after the roll call attendance in our classrooms, if we can have 5 minutes mindfulness, where right from the principal to the security guard to support staff, practice it. You may ask me then what will happen if some parents drop in. Have a small placard sort which you can keep in front of on your table. We are having a mindfulness practice. Till this time, please wait. So this way you are even spreading the message among other stakeholders. So this is something which I feel will help us to mitigate many of the challenges we face in our day-to-day lives at home, in the society, and in our school.
I think many schools are also doing this now. More and more schools have started doing it in the circle time and in the prayer time. They've started inculcating it.
Yeah, many schools are doing it. That's something wonderful. So we would like to see it happening in every school if we really want the emotional well-being of our children. Even for us also, it is so good, like for 5 minutes after the hurry-burry in the morning, cooking and taking care of the family, and when we are in the school, we can, for 5 minutes, we can just connect with ourselves. Let us go to the second practice. The second practice is, next slide, is about what we have is on quite a second, next slide.
Yeah.
So second practice is the practice of quiet time. So what is practice of quiet time? That also is silence. Mindfulness is also silence, but the difference between these two is, whereas mindfulness, you are just observing your breath, or you are just an observer. During quiet time, during this time, we are listening to our inner voice. What is your inner voice telling us? Our inner voice keeps talking to us. And there is a louder voice also. Many times we listen to that louder voice and we don't listen to our inner voice. So this is the time when you have to listen to that inner voice and see whether you are, go back, yeah, you are, abiding by it. So how do we do it? Maybe for 5 minutes or 10 minutes, sit quietly with yourself with a paper and pen. And maybe to start with, you can have these 3 reflective questions. What am I grateful for today? Or what, for smaller children, you can ask what made me happy today. There are practices like what, fill my bucket today. All sorts of practices are there. Second question can be what good did I do today? Third question can be what mistake did I do today? What am I going to do about it? So for 5 minutes, if we sit and look at these questions and write down the answers in a journal and act, you will see that your life starts changing. It has happened with me. How does it happen? So we have all heard about CCD, connection, correction, direction, but we are more aware of cafe, coffee, day. So now there is another definition, connection, correction, and direction. So what do we do? When we are sitting quietly, first we connect with our inner voice. We ask ourselves this question, what am I grateful for today? Write down. Did I do any good? Write down and be happy, sort of appreciate yourself. Did I do any mistake? Do the correction. Maybe in the morning I spoke rudely to my husband or to my children. Would you like would I like to go say sorry? So this practice, when can we do? I feel the best time is at the end of the school day, last period, last 5 minutes. So we started with mindfulness and we are ending with quiet time where we are doing an introspection or reflection of how the day was. Maybe you can start with the previous afternoon till this afternoon so that every 24 hours you are on a reflection mode. How it will help you? It will help you to be aware of yourself. Your strengths and weaknesses you will come to know, and self-awareness is an important dimension of EQ. You will be more emotional, your emotional quotient will improve. It will help us to be more authentic. It has happened with me initially before I had met this idea. I always was a people pleaser. I always wanted to please people. Even now I would always love to please people, but I am more aware and I am more authentic. Now I don't have a problem in standing by my emotions and doing what I really believe is right. And look at this, inner voice is your guiding light. It is your real value education teacher. People say experiences teach us. Is it correct? Think of it. Two of us go through the same experience and one becomes a very hard-hearted man and the other becomes very soft spoken and have become very kind. For example, two children of a father who is a drug addict or addicted to liquor, alcohol. Sometimes one son becomes an alcoholic and another one will understand, okay, these are the mistakes, I should not do it. So what is it? There is a step above experience, that is reflection, which helps us. So quiet time, if we introduce quiet time to our children right from lower classes, what we can do is we can, the children will be able to stand by their dictates of their heart. They will be able to say no when they don't accept or when they don't approve of something. So this is something which we can start practicing from our school, even start from standard 1. I'm sure one or two of my teachers from a Lucknow school must be here. They said they will be here. I had tried it in standard 1. When I asked them what are they grateful for, they said they were parents and all. Did you commit any mistake? Many of them said, yes, I pushed him, ma'am. I did this. What would you like to do? I would like to go and say sorry. So children are so happy because at that point of time, they don't have an ego, they don't have a feeling of shame. So if we can do it once they grow up, they will be more authentic. So I think this is something which we can introduce at the end of the day. Any questions here, or I will go to the next slide. Anything? Any questions from your side? Am I okay? Is it good?
Yeah, no questions as of now. Yeah.
Yeah. Pre-primary section, there was a question.
How
Pre-primary
to sit
section.
quiet.
Pardon?
Pre-primary section does it well. How to sit quiet.
Oh,
Really? Wow.
yeah, I'm sure they will sit quietly. Yeah, wonderful. Next, can we have the next one?
Sure.
We should practice ourselves also. Yeah, absolutely. Whatever I am sharing, please, 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 thank you for saying that. It is not for the children. It is for us first, then for children. So in the morning, when we do the mindfulness, and at the end of the day, when we do quiet time, the teachers, the principal, everyone does. And I will go one step ahead. The teachers should even share. They can, role model. They can say, okay, today I was angry with my children, or I just, shouted at my maid at home. I'm going to go back and say sorry. So you can role model the whole practice. Yeah.
I think this practice can also be put forward by the teachers to do the parents, where the parents can also do it at home with their children before they sleep, and all of them can discuss. Yeah.
Wonderful, wonderful. Yeah. Next slide.
Yeah.
So what does studies say about silence? Look at that. So morning 5 minutes, and at the end of the day 5 minutes, 10 minutes silence. What will it do to our nervous system, including the teachers, everyone? Restores the nervous system. It is associated with the development of new cells in the hippocampus area, the key brain region associated with learning and memory. It helps sustain energy and conditions our mind to be more adaptive and responsive to the complex environment we live. I think enough reasons for practicing mindfulness and quiet time in our schools, I hope. So now let us come to the third point. So I'm going in a hurry because I see that I have already finished 30 minutes. So the third one is about pro-social skills. Again, there is enough research to show that pro-social skills like kindness, empathy, gratitude, compassion, etc. are key to doing well in school. Studies have proved it. It says that experiencing love in childhood can help kids grow into compassionate adults. Why we should have absolutely loving teachers in our classrooms, especially in the pre-primary and primary level. Thank you, Ranjini. I'm just seeing your message. Yeah, no. So the level of pro-social behavior that a student showed in kindergarten, look at that, not in high school. The level of pro-social behavior that a student showed in kindergarten could predict their education and job prospects, criminal activity and likelihood of substance abuse later in life, and mental health in adulthood. So that is why Dr. Abdul Kalam used to say the most important teacher is the primary teacher. So the children pick up all those values, attitudes, etc., mainly in the kindergarten level. So how do we inculcate these practices, pro-social skills in children? I feel the school provides so many, forums, so many opportunities to practice these skills in children. Right from I believe that stories are a great medium. Somebody asked Albert Einstein, how can we make our children a genius like you? His answer was, tell them stories. So that lady asked, yeah, okay, we'll tell them stories. Beyond that, what should we do? He said, tell them more stories. So the importance of stories, especially in lower class. Remember our childhood, our parents, grandparents used to put us to bed with beautiful stories. Maybe we can take, pick back that habit again. In classroom also, I think we should have in our schools, when I was the principal and I was a director and trustee in our schools, every school we had a storytelling period, at least up to standard 3 or 4. So what else can we do to instill or nurture pro-social skills in children? I think right from peer help to activities like awareness campaign, then maybe collection drives, maybe blood donation camps, then what else can we do to teach them pro-social skills? Many of you must be doing it. I will be very happy if you can share. environmental related activities like organic farming, tree plantation. Especially during this pandemic, we are more aware of the need for having our own vegetables, at least a few in our balcony. So water conservation, then collaborative projects, kitchen garden, I see somebody has written, yeah. Uh, then awareness campaign against addiction, etc. Wonderful. So these all things can be done by a school. Again, somebody read something, I couldn't read it. Yeah. So again, the problem will be, people may ask, but when will we complete the syllabus? I feel, number one, we need not complete the syllabus. We need to teach the children whatever is very necessary. Unnecessarily, why should we burden the children with a lot of subjects I don't understand, especially in the lower classes and all. And again, all these practices show that it is academic success also is related to life skills and all those things. So, and another problem is principals think everything I have to plan. I think these practices should be driven by the students. See, that will help them to acquire life leadership skills and confidence building, self-esteem, which are the things which will help them to land better jobs. Their employability will be better. So, yeah, visiting orphanages, old age homes, all these things we can do. When will we do it? I think maybe we can earmark 2 periods a week for that, or we can do it on a Saturday. The senior children, and who will do it? Don't compel everyone to do it. Ask children and teachers who are very interested in such things. Get them to plan. Get them and come out with a project proposal which the principal and the can review and go ahead. It can be right from adopting the street on which the school stands to adopting a 1 kilometer radius of the school, maybe adopting a village, adopting a slum. The list is endless. And what can we do? And people say, where is the money? I have experienced as a principal and as a trustee, we don't need much money for doing good work. See, there are so many schemes under the government. We have to get the schemes, and we have to educate the villagers, the slum dwellers, what are their privileges, what are the schemes which are good for them, connect them, help them to avail them. As a principal of a school in Jamshedpur, with 3,400 children, we had adopted a village. We had started a free school for our slum children in the vicinity. We have done so much of work because there was delegation, there was trust among all the stakeholders. So as a principal, I trusted my teachers and my coordinators, my students, and I knew they will, they also have the best of their interest in their mind. So we together worked and we could do it. And I'm sure many of you must be also doing such work in your schools. And another good thing now, I am talking about my principalship in 90s when there were not many resources. Now there are so many resources. Look at the various NGOs. They will be so happy to tie up with you. The local MLA will be happy to see you working in a slum or in a village. Or, the local industry. For example, we had adopted a village in the 90s and the villagers wanted a pond. We did not have, there was a pond, it had to be deepened. We did not have that sort of money to do that. But a local, business person, because many of you are from, there are so many people from Jamshedpur, I should say. I should not be calling him businessman. Mr. Bodhanwala, he was such a compassionate person. He sent his missionary to deepen that well. So we did not spend any money. It was his compassion which got that pond deepened there, which is still giving water to the villagers even now. So so much we can do with the power of our compassion. And I feel another thing is a cross section of the society is walking into our classrooms every other day. in the form of parents. What wonderful resources. So you can, many of them will be very happy to be, associated with you in this, when you embark on such a compassionate journey. So this is, I can go on and on, but then I think I have to go to the next one, the last thing. So, okay, when you are talking about pro-social skills, somebody had written about gratitude. I think gratitude practice is so important. Gratitude is known as the mother of all virtues. So, gratitude, the studies show that it increases happiness, greater immune system, increases students' positive emotions and optimism, decrease in negative emotions, feel more connected and satisfied with school and with life in general. And it says that every day if you write down, what am I grateful for? 3 things, what am I grateful for? They say it will make you feel more happier and life will become more meaningful for us. So this much about pro-social skills. Any question here? I saw something somebody had written, shouldn't we finish the portion? Definitely, academic excellence is very, very important. In our scheme of things, if the children have to get into higher education, they have to do well. I'm not talking about spending all the 5.5 hours doing all these things. I'm talking about weekly 2 periods when we have the socially useful and productive, work. We can do it. These all can be socially and useful and productive work for the children. Can't we do it once in a week or once in a month, one Saturday? Even that is enough. Peer help every day we can do in the class, asking the good, gifted children to help the academically weak children. How much time you need? You have to just make them sit together. So if there is a will, there is a way. I have got 101 personal experiences I would have loved to share, but because of lack of time, I am moving to the next slide. Yeah. Next is all about, can we have the next slide, Rakhi?
Yeah.
Building relationships. This is the 4th one. So mindfulness practice, practice of quiet time, then nurturing pro-social skills, and last one is building relationships. What do studies say? Studies say the most important factor in human happiness is good relationships. It says that even a person's social relationships and environment and lifestyles affect even their genes. Strong relationships are key to a healthy school environment. People can usually trace their success and failures to their relationships in lives. So this is what relationships can do to us. Maybe can we have the next slide also?
Sure.
Okay, so how do we nurture relationship? There is again research on homeschool partnership. Studies show that effective homeschool partnership can improve test scores and grades, positive student attitudes, lower dropout rates. Can I see the next slide? Less high-risk behavior, higher staff morale, enhanced relationship between school and community, increased parental support for schools initiatives, improved parental opinion of and regard for the school. I have seen many schools where principals feel that they are a little wary or scared of the parents. They feel they get into unnecessary. They create problems for us. Many schools say parents do not support us. We don't get the support which we want. But I think we can plan a lot of activities in our school system which will improve the relationships with all stakeholders, especially the parents, because parents are our, the first customers, I should say. They are the most important. We are there because of them. If the parents are not there, the children are not there, schools do not have an existence. So we have to ensure that we have a wonderful relationship with the parents. How do we do that? The most important thing, I feel, maybe we all have annual orientation meetings. We have, quarterly parents-teacher meetings. We invite parents to give suggestions, and we accept the good ones and inform them. And we keep an open door policy where they can come and interact with you, not the whole day, maybe half an hour every day. Or so we can, maybe we'll go back to the previous one. Raki, not this one. Raki, not this one. Yeah. So I know in Pune, one of my friends, Mrs. Malti Kalmadi, their schools, parents do substitution whenever the teachers are absent. So that is another way of building relationship with the parents. They have a program called Mindful Parenting Program, which we can think of having for our parents, for the parents who are interested. And then even positive phone calls to parents. We call it positive phone calls. And then Jaya Parekh, she always shares about happy calling. So normally we call parents to complain. Here we call the parents to say something nice about a child, also to share, to find out some background of their parental background. And my experience again, I was a teacher, and I still remember my class teachership. It was my first parent-teacher meeting, and I was making the report cards. I saw 18 or 19 of my children had failed terribly. And I was so angry at the parents because I was so sure I had done my best. These parents haven't worked with the children, so the children are failing. So I had made a script ready for my parents. Each 18 of them, I knew what I should be speaking. The first parent walked in. The moment I looked at him, I realized there is something wrong with this parent. He was wearing soiled clothes. He had just come from the shop floor. So instead of getting angry on him, I asked him, what is the problem? Your son is not doing well. And he said, out came a story, sad story. His wife is mentally sick and he has to take care of her. He has to do the cooking, taking care of the children and all. At the end of the story, I told him, don't worry. From today, your child is my responsibility. Only what you have to do is ensure that your child sits and revises the day's lesson every day for an hour or so. The rest I will take care. All 18 students have 18 stories, and to 18 parents I repeated the same thing. And I think that day I became a teacher. I became a real teacher. And when the next year came, I went to my principal. I said, now I know my parents. I want one more year to work with these children. Because once I knew the background of the children, I could work with them better. To cut the story short, when these children passed out in +2, many of them told me, ma'am, we were a batch apart because you were our class teacher for 2 years. I think that was the greatest Gurudakshina for me. And when I became the principal, the first best practice I introduced was having the same class teacher going with the class for 3 years. There were objections, but most of my teachers agreed with me. And the whole, I was not prepared for the response it got. The next year, when we sat down for promotion, the same teachers who used to tell me, ma'am, please detain this child because he is not, doing well. He is not fit enough for the next class. The same teachers started telling me, ma'am, please promote him. I have 2 more years to work with him. Look at that. That was so wonderful. So we started having a very lenient promotion policy when our teachers decided that 3 years I will work with these children to improve them. It also built better student-parent and student-teacher relationship, teacher-parent relationship, and there was a sense of happiness all around. And I think it made a lot of difference in our school. People may say, so what about a bad teacher? It's easy to identify a bad teacher in these circumstances, and it is easy to work with her. And I don't see any bad teachers. The bad teacher is the one who needs a little more attention and a little more training from you. And I remember one day my peon walked into my room, an old fellow. He said, "Thag gaye." I'm talking about the 90s when there were no intercoms and all. I said, what happened, Ramsuru? He said, ma'am, सुबह से ऊपर नीचे होकर मेरा पैर दरा दरा में थक गई. I was so shocked. Go up and down. He is facing, I never knew. Led to many best practices. We decided that students will not go to the classrooms unless it is some urgent. Teachers have to go and look at the staff room notice board. So I'm talking about the 90s. Now you have better options. I know there are intercoms, there are emails, there are WhatsApp messages. That time it was not there. It helped me to look at the work of my support staff, reduce it to this extent. See, look at whatever we do. I believe in karma banking. Whatever we do, it comes back to us. I resigned from that school in 2000. And 2019, 19 years later, on 1st May, I get a call from an ex-colleague, and he tells me, ma'am, today was May 1st, and all the support staff went up on the stage to thank the management and all. And most of them took your name and thanked you. Imagine, after 19 years, after leaving the school for 19 years, what relationships can do, isn't it? So we also started a project school for our, slum children. Our school was in a place, and behind was a slum. So we started the first project school. How these things can have a ripple effect. We started with 50 students, and it immediately grew up to a big school. Now we have got 12,000, 14,000. We don't take more because we can't take care of them more than that. Now we have got at least half a dozen schools in Jamshedpur which have just schools in the afternoon. The same English medium we are using for the slum to make their life better. So we can do so much if we really have a passion to make a difference in our children's life, not only in our children's life, and happens when you start, communicating and collaborating with people. So I have got 94 minutes. I would like to end it within the next 2 minutes, and I would like to hear maybe a few voices. So after listening to me, some of you must be thinking, oh, what an angel she is. I am no angel at all. I'm an ordinary human being with all sorts of, shortcomings like any one of us. There are so many children and my friends who celebrate me. There will be so many of them who do not, who do not want to see me. I don't know, but I feel very happy, and I feel, a teacher affects eternity. After 20, 22 years, your children write to you saying that you made a difference in our life. I wonder, is it his generosity, or is it what I have done? I would like to believe that it is my child's generosity. That is what a child posted on my Facebook page last week. I remember another one putting up a photograph of mine when I was not on the Facebook and asking his people how many likes I can get for this lady. And the first question is 1 million. Somebody writes, I wish FB allows us to strike the button more than once. At the end of the day, I think as teachers, we are so rich with this love, which this, attention, this generosity bestowed on us from our children, in spite of our 101 shortcomings. A teacher affects eternity. And my prayer and wish for each one of you here is, be that great teacher who will touch thousands of lives, and let each life bloom. And let us create a new history post-COVID-19 in our schools through a story of compassion, a story of unconditional love, acceptance. And let us start, even if the schools haven't reopened, you can start these practices right from today, sitting at the comforts of your home. Thank you so much for listening to me. I don't know how many of you must have gone to sleep. I would like to stop here to listen some of your voices. Thank you so much, Rakhi.
No, not at all, not at all. We haven't gone to sleep. In fact, we've been wanting to understand that right now that we've been thrown into a virtual world, and we've been separated from our learners. So, what are the few practices that we can instantly begin with? One is the mindfulness, of course, but I also feel that a lot of it now is also the responsibility of the parent to inculcate these practices. It has never been so, but now it is all the more the responsibility of the parent to inculcate these practices. So it becomes all the more important for schools to communicate with parents and keep the mode of communication on in such times in order to let them know that what is it that is required to be done at at their end, because now the children are at home and they are meeting the teacher virtually.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's so important for us. See, parents, students come from all sorts of forms, whereas teachers are trained what we are supposed to do with them. So we have to partner with them. So this is a beautiful slide. If we are being taught how to grow our own food, the necessity of having school, kitchen gardens in every school, terrace gardens, I think we should all do it. And how to take care of ourselves and our families, and how to live without the need for huge governments. This pandemic is asking us to reflect on this. As our ancestors once did, they did not depend on any governments. They led their own lives. Then we are in being educated, we are being indoctrinated, whatever. So I think this is one slide which I would like to leave you, for your own reflection. Anybody would like to ask any question or any comment, Rakhi, from the participants?
Yes, we have some hands raised, so I'm just trying to put them on mute. I'm just trying to get there. Yes, Aparna would like to ask you. Aparna, I put you on unmute, so you can also unmute your mic and speak. Mr. Sunil, here you go. Yes, Mr. Sunil.
Madam Kartha.
Yes, doctor.
I've always told you I've got a big complaint against you. Why did you leave Jamshedpur?
Pardon?
just when we came to know you. Anyway, as usual, you're top of the ladder in the education as an educator, and that thing about relationship is so beautiful.
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes, doctor. Yeah, I'm listening to you, Dr. Sir.
Just to add, I mean, if we could get the children to relate to nature, they would relate to people even better.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I hope the management of the schools realize now that the best teachers and the best trained teachers should be in the primary school.
Absolutely. And most of the time we are so busy getting the best teachers for the high school.
No, we don't need that. As soon as possible, we should move from literacy to education.
Yeah. Okay.
Wonderful. And also focusing on the roots. I think focusing on the roots. Yeah.
It was a delight listening to you, ma'am, and thanks for bringing this to us.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Dr. Sir. Thank you for being there. Anybody else? Namaste. Anyone else? Any questions? Any comments? Anything?
Yeah, Ms. Neelam, would you like to speak? I'll put you on unmute so you can also unmute your mic and speak.
I'm just reading some of these chats. I'm overwhelmed with your love. So much, such beautiful things you have written. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much. Wow. Neelam, are you going to speak or?
No, I think the hands that were being raised, they were by mistake. So we have a couple of questions out here. Before schools resume and normalcy is retained, how to keep the same passion high among students via these online modes? There's one question put up by our listener who was on our Facebook page.
What I will suggest you is ask yourself this question, because the students are different. So many factors affect you. So have a quiet time. Ask yourself, how can I connect with my children better? So I'm sure you will get the answers. And if you ask me, I feel the best thing is to be very loving and kind to your children. When the children believe that my teacher loves me, the child becomes a great fan of the teacher. That is one thing. Then you have to keep the interest going. So if you are going to go teach routine things, people will be getting bored. So you are so blessed these days. There are so many resources around. Go search in the internet, through storytelling, maybe through project method, whatever you make lessons simpler. And all the more, please sit down 5 minutes quietly with yourself and ask this question for the next 3 days. I'm sure you will get the answer. I'll be very happy if you share that answer with me too. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah, indeed. I think the practice of quiet time, and also CCD, not the cafe
Mm.
coffee day, but the correction,
Yeah.
the connection, correction, and direction is something that is a beautiful practice. And I'm
Yeah.
sure that in times like these are the practices that are going to be useful for us as educators, and even to help our students sail through these times of virtual online teaching, because virtual teaching can also be less involving in terms of the hands-on activities that we teachers are used to doing in the classroom, which we no longer are
Correct.
able to do. So that itself
Correct.
is also a huge challenge for us
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
engage them and then to assess them online. So yes, it is indeed a challenge, and practices like these, the quiet time practice, the mindfulness practice, despite the chaos, how is it that you can be mindful, and these few practices, if we as educators start inculcating, then I'm sure that we would be making a difference in our own life, and then on a difference in the lives of our students. So great. Thank you so much for this wonderful session, ma'am. We are indeed
Yeah. Thank you
thankful
so much.
for all these strategies, tips, and experiences that have been shared. And I'm sure from the comments, we've been able to understand that a lot of them have been able to take away these aspects which they're going to be following in their own life and putting it into practice when they are teaching online as well. So I'm sure that your experience is going to go a long way. And with today's session, with so many takeaways, these practices are going to go and they're going to multiply. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
And
Thank you so much.
thank you to all our participants for being patient listeners and being very enthusiastic throughout the session and commenting and not going to sleep, as Vijaya ma'am pointed out. Yes. So I think now.
Yeah. I just want to thank each one of you, the participants. Some of them, as I told, some of them are my ex-colleagues, ex-students, I can see from their names, but many of you are new to me. Maybe from today we have become friends too.
Yes.
So thank you so much. It's your love, which is shown through all the comments. God bless you. Stay blessed. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Rakhi, for this wonderful opportunity.
Our pleasure, ma'am. Thank you so much, and good day to all of you all, and be safe. And we shall meet soon once again. Thank you. Thank you so much. In case you all would like to know more about Teachers Help Teachers, you all can like our page on Facebook, and you all can also log into our website, which is www.teachershelpteachers.in, which will help you understand more about the kind of work that we do. So thank you so much, and we shall meet soon. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you. Rakhi, shall we stay back or?
Yes, I think the meeting will end. Yeah.
And then.